you really need there to be a good internet connection up here. I'm gonna have to go amplify the Wi-Fi downstairs. There you go.
Yeah,
So we're live.
we're gonna have to bring in a router.
We're in a router.
Guys, here finally got a haircut.
We'll get this more back here, but we're talking about wrestling today, of course, and we were just talking about Rey Mysterio and his contract with the WWE. He's not part of the alumni, so
He's finally
moving the
move.
They don't move. Yeah, I don't know why they even have them set up on the. Droids who made the show back in the day. Basically, they made WCW, in my opinion. Because the whole NWO bit got a little old after a while. So we're live. We have 0 fans right now, but hopefully, let's see if I can get us set up on. Anything you'd like to add really quick, though, Isaac? We can upload the video later for you guys to watch. Let's fix this, I guess.
Yeah, you can watch us on YouTube right now.
Facebook
we're live.
Facebook is working, guys. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead and share it if you want.
There you go. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah. So we should just bring that every show.
Yeah. But we're back on air. According to this. Welcome back, guys, and this is a little weird.
Yeah, we're just trying to get this out there right
trying
now.
to get this.
Don't worry,
set
we'll
up,
get this.
but
We'll get
we have
this.
one
more.
viewer.
Oh, sweet. Don't
So,
worry.
how's it going? Hold on.
Hello, hello.
Let's try to get you in the picture. You're gonna have to move up, sir, because maybe I have to speed up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we're not in the picture.
We don't have a wide enough camera yet.
Not yet. So right now we're on commercial break, but we're talking about wrestling. So the one viewer that we do have, please continue watching.
Yes.
And we'll sure to talk about wrestling. Our next topic conversation is going to be favorite wrestling belts. So whoever's watching here, please share the link.
Yeah,
we have about 20 minutes left on the show here.
Yeah,
so.
please share it. Do whatever you need to do. You can put it in Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media. If you use MySpace, what's wrong with you? But whatever works.
MySpace. I'm like, what's MySpace?
I think Justin Timberlake owns that now.
Some good music, by the way.
Yes.
Really good music. It's Kanye West, but I like the Daft Punk
Yes.
theme.
It's like Kanye's label's called Good Music.
Well, great.
Yeah, me personally, I love Kanye, but yeah.
I hate Kanye West. Here we go. We actually did get this viewed on Twitter. So,
Awesome.
So let me post the link again. Watch our podcast. Connect. So there we go. We still have our one viewer.
We still have our one viewer.
Welcome back, guys.
To our how many listeners we have.
How many? We have thousands of listeners. Millions and millions of listeners out there, guys. So yeah, kudos to The Rock for giving us awesome catchphrases. You can make anything into a catchphrase, but all right, let's go back to that one bit that you wanted to talk about here.
All right, so right now we're gonna discuss our favorite and least favorite title belts.
Ooh, okay. Like as far as look goes, as far as like
look, prestige, anything about it, like how well designed they were.
How well designed? All right, I guess I'll let you go first here, sir.
All right, so I'm just gonna list off my top 3 favorites right now. I'm gonna give reasoning.
All right.
So I think at number 3 has to be the original Undisputed belt.
The one that
JBL, Eddie
the
Guerrero,
Y2J also. Oh, not Y2J. He never held that belt.
Yeah.
But I think it was
Hunter.
Triple H that was the first person to actually have that belt.
You know, the belt. You know, that belt just looked like a world belt. Like it looked like a title belt.
It was
just
big
looked
also.
awesome.
You know, they had a lot of different variants of that belt to my knowledge.
Yeah.
They had like 2 or 3 different versions
I mean,
of it.
when it looks big on The Undertaker.
Yeah, it was a really good sized belt. I remember buying the little Jack specific kid version of it, and I loved it. We still got one viewer. How's it going? But I really like that belt. That was one of my favorite belts. I think. I don't know if I'd ever actually buy a belt size replica of that because I hear those are like 7 or 8 pound belts. They're heavy, like really heavy. But it was a beautifully designed belt. And I really liked it. So kudos to you.
That was a wrestler's belt.
That was a wrestler's belt. That was the championship. You know, the champion's belt basically. So it was a really sexy belt though. I liked it a lot. Yeah. So
number 2 would probably have to be the Intercontinental belt, the white one,
the white strap Intercontinental title.
Yeah, the vintage one, the one that was held by Macho Man, by Razor,
by the Ultimate Warrior, man.
Bret Hart.
A lot of legends held that title. The Rocks didn't hold that exact version, but it was the first Intercontinental Championship, and I think the Intercontinental Championship really has the Honky Tonk Man, who was probably the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, held the title for 2 years. Arguably, you know, I wasn't alive in that. Well, I was alive. I don't know, but I
it's
didn't
funny
watch wrestling in
because
that era.
Jericho's had the most reigns, but if you tally them up,
They're
all
really
lasted
short
about,
reigns. Yeah.
Yeah, they lasted about, I think in total like 49 days.
Yeah, Jericho was Intercontinental Champion a lot, but yeah, you know, he was I guess, you know, I don't want to say paper champion, but you know, I feel like they just kind of gave him the amount. But you know, one of these days, Ziggler or you know, Wade Barrett, they're gonna eventually surpass his title reign count.
Because like I have to say, you know, when I think of that belt, it's the workhorse belt. It's the one. It's another wrestler belt.
Oh, it is, and you know, I think it's the title that everyone should have before hitting the main event spot.
Yeah, like honestly, I would love to see something along the lines of like, you know, the X division where you can turn in that title for a world title shot.
That would be amazing, actually, and I feel like WWE should start doing things like that. I really like the concept of Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
but at this point, like, what has Seth Rollins done with it aside from getting close?
Just catching it, like, you know, because the opportunistic thing can only go so far. One of my favorite ways to look at it is like, you're gonna set a date, and you're basically gonna be like, I'm not gonna sneak up on you. I'm gonna challenge you for this belt.
Exactly. You know, I hate the whole sneaking up portion of it. It worked with Edge because you know,
that was the first time anybody had ever
he
done
was the ultimate opportunist in my opinion. I think that was, you know, when he did it, it was great. But
like,
you know,
how surprised were you when that happened?
I was watching that pay-per-view actually, and I mean, it wasn't very unexpected. I did not expect it at all. Actually, the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view that they had, and you know, John Cena battled it out with, you know, 5 other guys in that chamber match, and it was a great elimination chamber match also, and he went through hell. And for, you know, Edge to just come out afterwards and take advantage, and just, you know, of course, Vince McMahon was the one that came and announced it because he was the first one, you know. So I was just like, you know, wowed, and everyone in where I was watching it at a bar, was just screaming and yelling. So it was very I guess, you know, it was a change, you know, of pace, because, you know, at that point, all the Cena fans were just kind of sick of him already. I mean,
I think now we're approaching on the 10-year anniversary of the Money in the Bank.
That's crazy, you know, and who invented that match? Or
Jericho
invented that match. So going back to his title reigns with the Intercontinental Championships. So he's a great mind.
I'd love to see something along the lines of like an X Division or King of the Ring, where basically it's like, you win this belt, but if you're brave enough to like turn it in, you can challenge for the world title.
Yeah, that's true. I would not, you know, be against that, and it would, like I said, it would be something to see. And it should be one of those things where they should be able to challenge at any time, though.
Yeah, but
like the hardcore title.
No, I don't think at any time, because then you have, you know, oh well, you know, he's gonna cash in. I want it to be something like, I'm gonna give you a month, and like, you know, I'm gonna give up this title, and for a month you're gonna have to anticipate me, because you're gonna have to fight me, whatever.
Exactly, and hopefully, you know, any promos leading up to that would be great, actually. But all right, go. What's your number one favorite? What's your number one favorite?
Number one belt would definitely have to be
the Winged Eagle, the one that came out after. Well, The small wing angle, the small one or the big one, the one that Bret Hart held, or the one that you know Stone Cold was carrying?
That Macho Man held.
Okay, the old school wing angle, the smaller.
Yeah,
version.
the one that became the hardcore title.
Oh, if you think about it, there was 3 winged angle versions because John Cena's Spitter title was technically a winged angle version of it. It was one also, but I think that title, in my opinion, also it was great. It was a classic. It was a beautiful title actually, and there was different variants as well. But that title to me, Shawn Michaels held it, Bret Hart, Stone Cold held it at one point. Also,
it was a great title.
It was a beautiful title. It was a little small in my opinion, though.
I know,
especially for guys of that size.
It looked prestigious. Like,
it was prestigious.
It's close. It's close to me. To like the NWA gold belt, or like the big gold belt, but
I love the big gold belt.
It just, in my opinion, I like the color, the contrast, the design of it. It looks like an award, like a trophy, instead of just a belt.
It is, and it exemplified, the stars at the time. I think, people.
It's flamboyant.
It was flamboyant, and it was the belt to have. I mean, I mean, a lot of wrestling fans out there today still, consider that to be one of their top favorite belt of all time. And you have to be watching wrestling a good 30 years in order to remember that belt. Kids, this day and age, they don't know about that belt, unless they go on the WWE shop website where you can still buy it.
Yeah.
It's about a $400 belt.
You can buy the ring of it.
You can buy a ring of it also, but very, very nice, prestigious belt. All right. So kudos to your picks there, man. But all right, this is Mike's, top 3. I guess we'll go with top 3. I have a lot, I mean, some of the titles on now, and actually I'm gonna throw out one of the newer titles that I see now. This will be my number 3, and it's not on the main show. It's actually on NXT, but it's gonna be the NXT Tag Team Championship belt. I love that belt. It looks
great.
I love those belts. Okay, now if you know what they look like, each title they look the same, but one half is gold on one side, and then the other half is gold on the other.
I love that duality.
So it's kind of like a duality. When you match them up, it's going to be like one thing. But I really think that it's beautiful. But I really wish they had something like that, like for a main title or on the main roster. I'm not a huge fan of the current WWE Tag Team titles.
Oh, no.
I hate the bronze look.
The pennies?
The penny look. I guess the copper or whatever. Copper, bronze, whatever you want to talk about there, but I really hate the way those titles look. I think they're a little big for a tag team championship belts, also, especially for small guys like Tyson Kidd.
Honestly, I've seen something fall. Like, I'm sorry to throw you off, but
yeah, that's fine.
I've seen this one belt that's a tag belt, and basically 2 halves of the same belt. It's torn in half, but like when they're brought together,
kind of like what they did with the Divas Championship.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like honorable or whatever.
I think which where does that originate?
I'm not sure. I think it was somewhere in Mexico. But basically, the two halves are supposed to make a whole, which is supposed to be the real belt.
That would be something interesting to see here in the States, actually, and they should get a little more intuitive about that. But that was my number 3, and I really like the design of the belts. I think it just meshes well. I think they're great looking titles. So, number 2 belts. Favorite belts of all time would have to be the Stone Cold Steve Austin Smoking Skull belt. Okay,
Ooh.
Just for the fact that I'm from Texas, we're from Texas. I'm from Texas. I don't know where he's from, but he's from here, obviously, right? Because we're doing a show in Texas. But
I hate that belt.
But a lot of people hated it. I loved it. Okay, I love the fact that Stone Cold went and branched out, and that's the reason why I guess stars recently have come and brought their own belts, like John Cena, for instance. Stone Cold. I feel like he was. I don't know if he was the first, but he was the first guy to make it a little more mainstream. Where I'm the champion. I'll have the belt the way I want to have it. So of course you have the Smoking Skull belt. The skull directly in the middle with smoke coming out of it, and it just says World Heavyweight Champion on top.
It looks extreme,
and it was very extreme belt. I think it was very out there. The back had rattlesnake skin on it, which I loved. And you guys
just looked awesome.
You can still buy replica online on the WWE shop website for a buttload of money, but. Beautiful title, in my opinion. I hope to own a replica of that one day. And I hate to say it, but Stone Cold was my favorite wrestler at the time during the Attitude Era. I think he was everyone's favorite wrestler for a lot of reasons. But I was a huge fan, and I love that belt. It was sad to see that belt go. When The Rock went and threw it off a bridge, and all this stuff went down, and there was just a lot of huge controversy going on between the belts. But one of my favorite design belts. I like the way they implemented it, and it's a belt that's gonna last forever in time. And so
I'm just gonna bring up honorable mention here.
All right, honorable mentions.
One thing, one belt
Gotta use the belt, man.
that I loved a lot was the ECW belt, not the old one,
The original
Paul Heyman-
ECW
not,
belt?
No, not the Paul Heyman one, the silver one, the one that Christian held, the platinum one.
Oh, the one that was basically the WWE
If there's
ECW version.
anything that good that came out of that ECW.
How many people
it was
really held that
belt.
title? It was what, maybe like 4 or 5.
Christian-
Mark Henry held it also.
I know Tommy Dreamer was the
King
last.
was the hardcore, or he was the ECW
Yeah,
champion.
Tommy Dreamer was the last guy to ever hold the ECW
Yeah,
belt.
and until they got rid of the show and just eliminated that. But actually, to be honest, and I know that you said that was your favorite belts, I wasn't one of my favorite designs, though. I think
Really?
didn't Bobby Lashley hold that title also?
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
he the ECW champ?
Dang.
And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I mean, it was intuitive at the time, I guess. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to. I mean, if it
Because,
wasn't
you
a
have
silver,
these
it was more
gold
of a
belts.
platinum.
It was
Yeah.
a platinum.
It was a
like,
platinum
that
belt,
made
yeah.
it stand out to me.
So
and that
it
was, like,
stood out, yeah. So we still got one viewer. Thank you, viewer. Maybe we're the only viewer. I don't know. But it did stand out. I think it was a little different. Whoa. Okay, so much for keeping it fixed now. Our bell's
Sorry
now
about that.
broken. But it was a different bell at the time. And, of course, sad to say, it didn't last that long. ECW lasted about, like, what, a year?
No, it lasted like 5 years.
5
before it went under.
years. And then, yeah, it was the original. The
I
Paul
remember.
Heyman version.
What's funny is
ECW
that
belt.
that ECW lasted longer than WCW.
That's crazy. That's kind of sad. That's sad to hear about. But
Yeah.
it was a different belt at the time. But I guess going forward to my number one favorite belt, and we can talk about our least favorite belts also.
Yeah. Let's hear your
We'll
favorite.
finish off the show. But my favorite belt, and I actually have a adult size replica of it, and I think you think it's going to be the Intercontinental Championship belt. It's not, but it's the big gold belt. Okay, originally the NWA Heavyweight Championship belts. It was brought to WCW after the name change, and it was my favorite belt of all time because it was just. I felt like that was the belt to have because, it was. I don't know if it was the first belt, but it was Ric Flair's belt.
It was Ricky Steamboat's belt.
Hulk Hogan held that belt.
And then
Sting. I mean, a lot
David
of iconic
Arquette.
names. David Arquette. But that belt just looks so beautiful, like on the waist of anybody.
Yeah.
It can make anybody look good.
It looked
Edge
like a
had
title.
it. Christian held the title. I mean, a lot of famous Triple H. I think he loved that title more than the WWE title at the time, and that title was, for a while, more highly regarded on the show than the actual WWE.
It main evented
title.
WrestleMania 20 and 24.
Yeah, it main evented a few WrestleManias, which, in my opinion, like I said, like that belt was great. Like it's sad to say that they got rid of it. I really wish that they would have got rid of the big logo belt instead and kept the World Heavyweight Championship. If right now, currently, the champion's Brock Lesnar, but I remember one bit of him, trash. He saw the title on his wall and he grabbed the title and he sat down on his chair and he put it over his shoulder and he was looking at it like he was like, and when Brock Lesnar's holding the title and that title looked great on Brock Lesnar. I hate to say, but
the new title, it looks great on big guys.
It looks great
on The
big
Rock.
guys,
It looks great on Lesnar.
Yeah.
Not so much on people like Orton and Bryan.
Daniel Bryan and Orton, fortunately, like the big logo belt, I guess doesn't look good on them. They have to be super heavyweights. But I mean, not to discredit the new logo, but also I guess in time I do like it a lot.
I like
the 2014 version. Well, last year's the newest version, which is the second version, it has the network
new logo.
logo.
I like that.
It's a great version, and if you see it up close, it's a beautiful belt.
It's
very beautiful
really
belt.
well crafted.
Very well crafted belt, but at the same time,
it only looks good on big guys.
Overpriced, in my opinion, guys. And I'll probably own one of those belts one of these days, actually. But
right.
You never know. But
so we're gonna go into top 3 least favorite.
All right,
belts.
go ahead.
Number 3, the Smoking Skull.
Oh, boo!
I'm sorry to say it.
Wait, no, you can't say that.
I don't know, man. It's like I love minimalism and I love design. I love things that look prestigious, and Stone Cold just made this belt look. I know,
but that was the point.
That's his gimmick. I know. That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing.
Walking downstairs, by the way.
But I love the designs and prestige. I love it when it looks prestigious. But the thing is that it didn't look like a wrestler's belt.
I guess
like,
the fact that it was missing like rubies and was
no, man. It just it had too much going on for it. And what fonts was they using? With
it was
that?
Maybe they could have worked a little better with the font. It felt like it was. Yeah, you're right about the font. I'm not a huge fan of the original. I think I'm gonna take this home. Someone just left it here. Someone just left their Mac charger here, guys. So if no one comes back for this, I'm gonna take it home and have an extra one for me, or just keep it in my backpack and just this will be my extra one. But
yeah, but like that belt just. I don't know. There's something that didn't click with me with that belt. I just didn't like it.
That's fine, bro. All right, going on to
Number
belt number
two.
2. Least favorite belt number 2.
The pennies. The modern day tag team champions.
Oh man, I hate the modern tag team championship.
Like,
belts.
I mean, I guess
I
it's
agree.
cool. Like, it looks like an Uso belt to me, because one's facing left, one's facing right. It doesn't look good.
And you know what? It's sad to say, but I hate. I think that the only people that it does look good on is the Usos.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and
They're just they look like giant pennies.
they're just giant pennies. Yeah, and who's a huge. He got over it already, and it's growing on him. But I just don't see it. I don't see that being the tag belt.
It doesn't look like a championship belt. It looks like one of those like indie knockoff from an indie federation.
See, I like the design in the middle though, where it has like the two warriors. The gladiators, I like that concept.
If only,
but maybe not as big. I think they kind of just like stretched it out a little too big. They could have had something else going on with that. But
it's too round.
It's too round, yeah. So we're coming out to 5 minutes left on the show.
All right,
Let's
number
do number one.
Least favorite belt. I had a lot of conflict on this. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait. All right, there you go.
The John Cena spinner.
Oh my gosh! You stole one of mine, but I'll explain to you why in a little bit. Go ahead.
That's just such an ugly belt. It looked like a Cena. I mean, it had the whole like text message thing on it. Like it looked like a Motorola text message. Like it was just bedazzled. It looked dated. It said champ on it, which is why that belt never looked good on anybody, and even Cena. Like that was the CM Punk belt. That was the.
It was going to.
It looked awful. It just looked awful.
Oh yeah. Well, those were a great top 3 least favorite belts. All right, let's go with mine. Might be least. Which is the Attitude Era.
I get you.
Intercontinental
the one with the big
belt.
low and the Spanish logo.
I just hated the ovalness to it.
Yeah,
I hated the oval, just the shape.
Yeah, it looks weird.
But you know what? The original Intercontinental title belt was like shaped like the United States or something. I don't even know what's going on with that. But I don't even know what happened there. But not my favorite belt. I hate the fact that the Earth was shaped like an oval also, and it was just it didn't
click well.
It didn't look prestigious. The fact that it was
Cody.
purple. It was purple at first, also, or blue or something, and I just wasn't a fan of that.
I'm not that big of a fan of like weird color straps.
Weird color straps.
Like the Ultimate Warrior yellow or the.
Well, I like colored straps, but it has to flow well.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and that belt just didn't flow
I think
well.
the Ultimate Warrior pulled off many different belts at the time, but I guess. My number 2 least favorite, and sorry, ladies, but this is gonna have to be the Divas title.
You brought it up.
Oh
I
my
forgot about that belt.
I hate the Divas Championship belt.
That belt so much.
I don't mind the pink colors going on with it, but it's just the way it's designed.
It's a butterfly.
I mean, the Divas Championship is supposed to exemplify a champion, and a butterfly does not.
The NXT one isn't all that much better.
It's not that much better, but it looks like a championship.
Yeah.
I love the NXT Women's Championship.
The best one has to be
the original one. The one that Lita and Trish held, that women's title, I felt was prestigious. It was gold.
Yeah.
A lot of greats held it. Chyna, Sable, whoever names that you want to throw out there.
But this modern belt, it looks like a Bella Twin belt.
I hate it. I really, really hate it.
I despise it. It doesn't look good. I'm surprised Paige of all people was okay with that belt. Considering her idol was Lita.
Exactly. So maybe one day she'll branch out and hopefully bring the previous women's title back, or bring something a little better to the table. Because and I'm hoping that the women's division gets a little better, guys.
All right.
But
least favorite belt of all time.
Least favorite belt. Okay, shoot. Hold on. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear this?
I'm ready.
The United States Championship belt. The current United States Championship.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Okay, I honestly, and you're gonna hate me for hearing this up, guys, but I really liked, and maybe this is just me, but I love the WCW United States Championship belt a lot more than the current United
And
States
that's
Championship
what I
belt
think.
that we
Like,
have on.
it has problem, but I just love the colors it brings out. Like the font is
For
great.
me, like I hate the fact that they just put the big American
Flag.
flag and stamped it on the center plate. You know, if it didn't have that, I probably would like it a little more. The reason why I like the WCW one was it was a little more minimalistic.
Yeah.
And you know, you saw the U.S. champion. I mean, the small American flag in the middle, but you know, it had like an eagle also spreading its wings in the middle. You know, the title for WCW at the time was their Intercontinental Championship basically, because they didn't really have that title. They had the television championship, but the current WWE US Championship is my least favorite, and I hate to say it, JBL, but I hate that title. You're the one that debuted it after you trashed John Cena's US spinning.
To be fair, John Cena had that title too.
John Cena had that title, but
I was honestly the worst one for me. It was between that spinner and the WWE spinner. But
I choose the US spinner actually over the WWE spinner.
Dude, like I don't know.
I actually had a replica version of that, but I mean, if I can say it, it's going to be that belt, just because. And like for a guy as big as Rusev to be holding a title, like for me, the title is very small, so it should be a lot bigger. You're representing the United States.
I was kind of hoping that Rusev would change that title to like the European Championship.
Well, you never know. He might change it to the Russian or whatever, the Ukraine Championship or the Bulgarian Championship, and try to make Americans even matter. But guys, that's Mike's least favorite title belts going on,
and that is ARMBAR for today.
ARMBAR for today. So we want to thank you guys for watching. Of course, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook via UTPA ARMBAR. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/UTPA ARMBAR. Follow us on Twitter at UTPA_ARMBAR. WWE_ARMBAR for YouTube channel. Keep supporting us. We really appreciate you guys listening to this.
Hope you like watching also.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be more organized from now on. And remember, Ron, healer for tap. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast. This is it for ARMBAR for this week. So we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we get a better internet connection, and thank you for watching. All right.